Hiking/mountain biking the Walker Ranch Loop Trail, Boulder, Colorado. By Timo Almquist. Walker Ranch Loop Trail is a great four-season loop hike near Boulder, with 7.6 to 10 miles of trail ideal for training, running, and mountain biking. It offers views, 2 river crossings, open ridgetop walking, meadows, pine forests, rock formations, and access to Gross Reservoir. It's possible to complete multiple laps for longer distances. Overview. Walker Ranch Loop Trail stands out as one of Boulder's premier four-season hikes, delivering a moderate 7.9-mile loop with approximately 1,600 feet of elevation gain. This versatile trail is perfect for training hikes, trail runs, and mountain biking, offering stunning vistas of the Front Range foothills. Hikers can easily extend their adventure by connecting to nearby paths, such as the 2.5-mile Myers Homestead Trail via the Josie Heath Trail, which adds about 2.2 miles round-trip for extra meadow exploration. Alternatively, link up with the El Dorado Canyon Trail, a roughly 3-mile one-way route, 6 miles round-trip, leading to El Dorado Canyon State Park, ideal for hikers, though mountain biking is prohibited there. Nestled within the 2,880-acre Boulder County Open Space Preserve, the loop traverses diverse terrain from 6,800 to 7,600 feet, making it accessible year-round with less snow than higher summits like Bear Peak or Green Mountain. No matter the direction, counterclockwise being the favorite, you'll tackle 2 significant climbs that build the total elevation, rewarding you with panoramic views. The trail is impeccably maintained, featuring plentiful signs, sturdy stone steps, and well-constructed bridges for safe navigation. Its multi-use designation welcomes mountain bikers, no e-bikes allowed, leashed dogs, and even horses, except on the steep wall staircase section where caution is advised. Walker Ranch benefits from its tucked-away location behind popular draws like Flagstaff Mountain, Green Mountain, Bear Peak, and South Boulder Peak, helping to disperse crowds across multiple parking options. If you're seeking a quick escape from Boulder, this loop delivers abundant natural highlights, 2 refreshing crossings of South Boulder Creek, open ridgetop walking with sweeping horizons, vibrant meadows bursting with wildflowers in spring, dense pine forests providing shade, intriguing rock formations, and proximity to the scenic Gross Reservoir, a regional gem for boating or picnicking. Historically, the area echoes its 1880s roots as James Walker's homestead, which grew into a sprawling 6,000-acre ranch by the early 1900s. Today, restored buildings offer a glimpse into that era, adding cultural depth to your outing. The well-marked loop format makes it easy to stack multiple laps for longer distances. I've pushed past 20 miles in a single session here. With lower elevation ensuring milder conditions, it's an excellent choice while waiting for alpine trails to thaw. Pack essentials like water, sunscreen, and bear spray, as the open sections can be exposed, and wildlife like elk or birds of prey are common sights. Whether you're a local training for bigger peaks or a visitor craving Front Range beauty, Walker Ranch Loop promises an invigorating, crowd-thinned experience close to the city. The ultimate offline GPS hiking and ski maps. CYONX Backcountry is the ultimate GPS navigation app for your outdoor pursuits. Try today for free. No credit card required. Table of contents. Overview. Directions to trailhead. Geology. Ecology. Field notes. Journal. Final thoughts. Directions to trailhead. Accessing the Walker Ranch Loop Trail is straightforward, with 4 convenient trailheads that help distribute visitors and reduce congestion at this popular Boulder County open space destination. All parking areas are free, open from sunrise to sunset for day use only, and prohibit overnight stays or camping. Facilities vary by location, but most include restrooms and informational kiosks. As of 2025, the lots are well maintained, with recent additions like improved signage and ADA-accessible spots to enhance accessibility. Plan to arrive early, especially on weekends or during peak summer months, as spaces fill quickly. I've seen the main lot packed by 9 a.m. on sunny Saturdays. If lots are full, consider carpooling or using Boulder's public transit options to reach the base of Flagstaff Road and hike up from there for an added warm-up. The primary approaches come from Boulder via the scenic Flagstaff Road or from the southeast through Coal Creek Canyon. For those driving from Boulder, begin on Baseline Road heading west from the city center. You'll pass charming residential neighborhoods with well-kept homes and gardens, gradually ascending as the road winds upward. Keep an eye out for Chautauqua Park on your left, a historic landmark with lush lawns and stunning Flatirons views, but it's perpetually bustling with hikers, picnickers, and tourists, so drive cautiously and yield to pedestrians crossing the road. From Chautauqua, continue climbing the twisty 7.6-mile stretch of Flagstaff Road, which can take 20 to 30 minutes depending on traffic and road conditions. The drive offers glimpses of Boulder's foothills, with pullouts for photos if you're not in a rush. As you crest the summit and begin descending toward Gross Reservoir, watch for the trailhead signs. Myers Gulch Trailhead. Encounter this first on the right side of Flagstaff Road before the main lot. It provides 36 parking spots, including 3 ADA-accessible ones, along with restrooms, picnic tables, and horse trailer accommodations. Starting here connects you to the loop via the Josie Heath Trail, adding about 2.2 miles round trip for a more extended outing through peaceful meadows, great if you want bonus scenery without extra crowds. Walker Ranch Loop Trailhead. Main lot continues straight ahead just before the sharp right turn to Gross Reservoir. This largest lot offers 46 spaces, 2 ADA, restrooms, and an informative kiosk with maps and trail updates. It's the most direct access point and ideal for first-timers, but it fills earliest due to its convenience. Ethel Harold Trailhead. Before reaching the main lot, turn left onto Pica Road, then right onto Bison Road after a short drive. This quieter spot has 18 parking spaces and restrooms, connecting to the loop via a 0.55 mile spur trail that adds 1.1 miles overall. In my experience, it's a reliable backup when the main area is full, offering a slightly more secluded start. For travelers coming from the southeast, such as Golden, Denver, or surrounding suburbs, take CO 72 westbound up the picturesque Coal Creek Canyon from its intersection with CO 93. This route covers about 10 miles and takes roughly 17 minutes, winding through forested canyons with occasional wildlife sightings like deer or foxes. About 10 minutes west of the CO 93 junction, turn right onto Crescent Park Drive, followed by another right onto Gross Dam Road. You'll soon spot the Crescent Meadows parking area on your right, just before the road descends sharply to Gross Reservoir. This lot has limited spaces and no restrooms or kiosks, but it provides immediate access to the loop's meadow section, making it a strategic choice for those avoiding the Flagstaff climb or seeking a flatter entry point. To stay updated, visit the Boulder County Open Spaces website for real-time parking status, live webcams, and any seasonal closures, essential in 2025 with ongoing maintenance for erosion control. GPS apps like Google Maps work well, but cell service can be spotty in the canyons, so download offline maps in advance. Safe travels, and enjoy the drive, it's part of the adventure. The Boulder County Open Spaces website has a great page on the loop and the various parking situations. Use this link. Geology of the trail area. The Walker Ranch Loop Trail weaves through a captivating slice of Colorado's Front Range geology, where the vast Great Plains abruptly give way to the towering southern Rocky Mountains. This transitional foothills zone, encompassing the 2,880-acre preserve, showcases a dramatic interplay of ancient rocks, erosional forces, and tectonic history that has shaped the landscape over billions of years. As hikers traverse the loop, they encounter a variety of geological features that tell the story of Earth's dynamic processes, from rugged outcrops to sculpted canyons, all while enjoying the trail's diverse terrain. At the heart of Walker Ranch lies one of Boulder County's oldest rock types, the Boulder Creek granodiorite, a coarse-grained igneous rock dating back approximately 1.7 billion years. Formed deep beneath the Earth's surface from slowly cooling molten magma, this granodiorite was later thrust upward during ancient mountain building events. Over eons, erosion stripped away overlying layers, exposing these resilient rocks to the surface. Hikers can spot granodiorite in the trail's rock formations, particularly along the steep descents and ascents, where weathered boulders and outcrops display a speckled mix of quartz, feldspar, and biotite minerals. These formations add texture to the path, with their rough, enduring surfaces contrasting the softer soils underfoot. Around 65 million years ago, the Laramide orogeny, a major uplift event, began reshaping the region, crumpling the crust to form the modern Rocky Mountains. This tectonic push elevated the Front Range, creating the area's steep ridges and deep drainages, including South Boulder Creek, which the trail crosses twice. The creek's swift waters have carved many gorges and smoothed river rocks through relentless erosion, the dominant force sculpting Walker Ranch since the uplift. Along the loop's open ridgetop sections, visitors can gaze at panoramic views of this eroded topography, with layered cliffs hinting at the forces that folded and faulted the land. The infamous wall staircase, a 500-foot cliff-like descent threaded with stone steps, exemplifies this erosion, navigating steep granodiorite slopes that challenge even seasoned hikers. Nearby influences from the ancestral Rocky Mountains, which rose about 300 million years ago and later eroded completely, add complexity. Sediments from those ancient peaks contributed to formations like the reddish fountain sandstone, visible in the dramatic cliffs of adjacent El Dorado Canyon, accessible via a trail extension. On the Walker Ranch Loop itself, traces of these sedimentary influences appear in scattered conglomerate pebbles along the creek beds, carried downstream over millennia. The 2000 Walker Ranch/El Dorado wildland fire, which scorched over 1,000 acres, further exposed geological details by burning away vegetation, revealing charred tree stumps amid regenerating forests and highlighting soil profiles rich in organic matter atop the granitic base. Soils here varied from thin, rocky layers on ridges to deeper, alluvial deposits in meadows and along the creek, supporting the trail's vibrant ecosystems. Wildflowers thrive in nutrient-poor granodiorite-derived soils, while pine forests cling to shaded slopes. This geological diversity not only enhances the hike's scenic beauty but also underscores the area's resilience. Erosion continues to refine the landscape, with seasonal floods occasionally reshaping creek banks and trails. For geology enthusiasts, the loop offers hands-on exploration. Touch the ancient granodiorite, observe water-worn boulders at crossings, or ponder the uplift from meadow viewpoints. Understanding this backstory deepens appreciation for Walker Ranch as a living geological museum, blending billion-year-old rocks with ongoing natural processes in Boulder's backyard. Ecology of the trail area. The Walker Ranch Loop Trail immerses hikers in the vibrant ecology of Colorado's Front Range foothills, a transitional zone where the arid Great Plains meet the moist, forested Rocky Mountains. Spanning elevations from 6,800 to 7,600 feet within the 2,880-acre Boulder County Open Space Preserve, this area supports a mosaic of habitats including riparian corridors, open meadows, ponderosa pine woodlands, and rocky outcrops. These diverse environments foster rich biodiversity, influenced by seasonal changes, wildfire recovery, and conservation efforts that protect the land from urban encroachment. As a hiker, you'll witness how elevation gradients and microclimates create pockets of life, from sun-drenched ridges to shaded creek banks, all interconnected in a delicate balance. Flora dominates the landscape, with ponderosa pine forests providing the backbone of the ecosystem. These tall, aromatic trees, with their thick, fire-resistant bark, thrive on south-facing slopes, offering shade and habitat while their needles enrich the soil. Mixed in are stands of Douglas fir and cooler, north-facing draws, adding vertical structure. Understory shrubs like mountain mahogany, serviceberry, and chokecherry dot the meadows, blooming in spring to attract pollinators and providing berries for wildlife in fall. Wildflowers explode in color during late spring and summer, Indian paintbrush with its fiery red bracts, harebells dangling delicate bluebells, columbines nodding in the breeze, and lupins forming purple spikes. Grasses such as blue grama and little bluestem carpet open areas, resilient to grazing and drought. In autumn, aspens and cottonwoods along South Boulder Creek turn brilliant gold, shedding leaves that nourish the soil. The 2000 wildfire reshaped vegetation, promoting fire-adapted species and young growth, visible in regenerating pines amid charred snags that now serve as perches for birds. Fauna adds dynamic energy to the trail. Mammals are plentiful. Black bears roam for berries and insects. Especially in summer, hikers should carry bear spray and store food securely to minimize encounters. Elk and mule deer graze meadows at dawn and dusk, their antlers silhouetted against ridges, while bobcats and foxes prowl for rodents like ground squirrels and voles. Smaller creatures, such as chipmunks and rabbits, scurry along paths. Birdlife thrives year-round. Golden eagles and red-tailed hawks circle overhead on thermals, hunting from cliff tops, while songbirds like mountain chickadees and western tanagers fill the air with melodies in pine canopies. Riparian zones buzz with activity. Trout dart in South Boulder Creek's clear waters, sustaining kingfishers and herons, and amphibians like chorus frogs breed in seasonal pools. Reptiles, including garter snakes and fence lizards, bask on warm rocks, and insects from butterflies to bees pollinate the flora, completing food webs. Aquatic ecology centers on the creek's two crossings, where willows and alders stabilize banks, filtering runoff and supporting invertebrates that feed fish and birds. This riparian habitat is crucial for biodiversity, acting as a corridor for migration. Conservation plays a key role. Boulder County's open space program, started in 1967, safeguards the area from development, allowing natural processes like post-fire succession to unfold. Human impacts from multi-use trails, hikers, bikers, and dogs can disturb wildlife, so stick to paths, leash pets, and pack out ways to preserve habitats. In 2025, the ecology remains robust, with ongoing monitoring for invasive species and climate effects like drier summers. Exploring Walker Ranch reveals an interconnected web of life, where each element, from towering pines to tiny pollinators, contributes to the foothill's enduring vitality, making every hike a lesson in natural harmony. Field notes: the Walker Ranch Loop Trail, part of a sprawling 2,880-acre Boulder County open space preserve, attracts steady crowds year-round due to its proximity to Boulder and relatively low elevation range of 6,800 to 7,600 feet. This makes it more accessible in winter than higher alpine trails, with less persistent snowpack. Visitor numbers peak from June to September, when warm weather draws hikers, runners, and bikers seeking a challenging yet rewarding loop. To beat the rush and secure parking, opt for weekdays or arrive early. Lots can fill by mid-morning on weekends. The trail's popularity surges among University of Colorado students, who flock to the South Boulder Creek sections for sunbathing, swimming in natural pools, or casual fishing during summer breaks. As a loop format, it's an ideal training ground for longer distances, especially while waiting for higher elevation paths to clear of snow in spring. Designated as multi-use, the trail welcomes mountain bikers, no e-bikes permitted, leash dogs, and horses, though equines are restricted from the steep wall staircase to prevent erosion and accidents. Always practice trail etiquette, yield to uphill users and horses, step aside for faster bikers, and avoid blasting music through earbuds to hear approaching cyclists or wildlife. With shared paths, awareness is key to a safe experience for all. Safety considerations include the trail's moderate difficulty, with two major climbs totaling about 1,600 feet of elevation gain and potential hazards like twisted ankles on the rocky staircase or slippery leaves and fall. Trekking poles are recommended for stability, especially on descents. Watch for poison ivy along creek banks and stay alert for rattlesnakes in warmer months. Accessibility features at trailheads, such as ADA parking spots, make entry points more inclusive, though the trail itself is rugged and not fully wheelchair-friendly. Wildlife abounds, adding to the allure. Spot black bears foraging in berry patches, elk grazing in meadows, bobcats slinking through underbrush, or majestic birds of prey like golden eagles soaring overhead. Flora enhances the scenery, with dense stands of ponderosa pine providing aromatic shade, vibrant wildflowers such as Indian paintbrush and harebells blooming in spring and summer, and hardy shrubs like mountain mahogany dotting the ridges. In autumn, aspens and cottonwoods along the creek turn golden, creating a picturesque backdrop. The human history of Walker Ranch weaves a rich tapestry, beginning with indigenous peoples who inhabited the Boulder area for over 13,000 years. Tribes like the Arapaho, Ute, Cheyenne, and others with ancestral ties to the land used these foothills for hunting, gathering, and seasonal camps, leaving behind archaeological evidence of their presence. Boulder County honors this legacy, recognizing the contributions of nearly 50 nations and tribes. European settlement arrived in the mid-19th century when James A. Walker, a settler from Missouri, moved to Boulder in 1865. By 1882, he and his wife Phoebe filed a homestead claim for 160 acres, starting with a simple log cabin. Over decades, Walker expanded the operation into a thriving 6,000-acre ranch focused on cattle, hay, and timber, complete with barns, a blacksmith shop, and other outbuildings. The site, now a National Register of Historic Places district with 14 preserved structures, offers glimpses into frontier life. Visitors can explore restored 1880s buildings during special events or guided tours. In the 20th century, the the ranch transitioned through ownership changes, surviving a devastating 2000 wildfire that charred portions of the landscape, visible today in scarred trees and regenerated growth. By the 1970s, Boulder County's pioneering open space program, initiated in 1967, acquired the property to protect it from development, transforming it into the public preserve enjoyed today. This evolution from indigenous homeland to working ranch to conserved open space underscores the area's layered cultural significance. As of October 2025, trail conditions remain excellent following summer maintenance. Paths are dry and well-groomed with minimal erosion or mud, though fall winds could scatter branches, walnuts, or early snow at higher points. Stay vigilant and check for updates on the county website. Whether you're a seasoned local or first-time explorer, these notes ensure a prepared and enriching visit to this Front Range classic. For weather planning, start with Boulder's forecast as a reliable baseline, then subtract 3 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit to account for the trail's higher sections, where cooler breezes and shade from ponderosa pines prevail. Nearby El Dorado Springs provides detailed extended forecasts, including wind and precipitation specifics. Much of the route traverses open meadows and treeless slopes, so pack essentials like sunscreen, a wide-brimmed hat, insect repellent, and at least 2 to 3 liters of water per person. Dehydration risks rise on exposed ridges. In bear country, carry bear spray, make noise on quieter stretches, and properly store any snacks to avoid attracting wildlife. Journal. If you start from the main Walker Ranch Loop parking area, you can perform the loop in either direction. Counterclockwise is the most popular method, so we'll describe it that way. Begin by descending a sun-baked slope down to South Boulder Creek and passing by some interesting rock formations. The trail will follow the creek for a couple of points of a mile before crossing it on a nicely constructed walking bridge. On busy days, you'll find people hanging out in the river, relaxing, or fishing. Once you cross the creek, the trail will rise to Crescent Meadows. This is the first big ascent of the day, and it's fairly committing. The trail is in excellent shape, so there shouldn't be any navigation issues, unless it's completely covered in snow. A portion of this climb is tree-covered, but there are open, sun-baked sections as well. You'll eventually break out into a beautiful meadowed area with a parking area in front of you. There are a couple of interesting boulders and ridge tops around. Make sure to check them out for great long-distance views of higher peaks and Gross Reservoir. Moving on, you'll begin a long descent down to a secondary crossing of South Boulder Creek and the lowest point of the trail. This is a great stretch of trail that oscillates between meadows, pine trees, and rocky sections with views back to the plains in between the rugged north ridge of South Boulder Peak and El Dorado Mountain. While you never really get the wilderness feeling of other trails in the state, this section feels the most out there. Downstream is El Dorado Canyon State Park, and the ridges on either side of you are protected land, so you're not staring into someone's backyard. You may also notice a large cut in El Dorado Mountain where a train line passes on its way to Moffett Tunnel, which burrows under the Continental Divide and pops out near Winter Park. Before reaching the bottom of the decline, you'll encounter some nifty trail work in a long staircase that expertly threads through some steep and rocky slopes. Watch your step. Twisted ankle risk increases on this last part of the descent. Once you regain the river, walk alongside it for a few hundred yards before crossing it on another well-constructed bridge. This part feels like a mini gorge, and you can often see birds of prey circling the cliffs above. The next part is your second significant rise, and it starts alongside a gated dirt road, mainly used as an access point for EMS. The trail eventually breaks left and rises through a thicker area of forest. If you parked at the Ethel Harold trailhead, keep an eye out for the spur trail back to the parking lot. Keep rising amongst the trees until cresting the ridge. The views open up considerably, and this section is arguably the prettiest of the loop, with a nice perspective of the entire drainage and beautiful cliffs on various peaks. The trail undulates across an open expanse, passing a few benches before eventually winding towards your trailhead. Once the trail crests at its highest point, it will turn north, and you'll lose about 50 feet of elevation until reaching the end of your loop. Final thoughts. The Walker Ranch Loop Trail encapsulates the essence of Boulder's Front Range, offering an accessible yet invigorating escape into nature's embrace. At 7.9 miles with 1,600 feet of elevation gain, this moderate loop challenges hikers, runners, and bikers while rewarding them with a tapestry of landscapes, 2 lively crossings of South Boulder Creek, sun-kissed meadows alive with wildflowers, shaded ponderosa pine forests, intriguing rock formations, and sweeping views toward Gross Reservoir and distant peaks. Its four-season appeal shines through milder elevations, making it a reliable choice when alpine trails are snowbound, and multi-lap options cater to endurance seekers aiming for longer distances. Beyond the physical journey, the trail unfolds layers of history, geology, and ecology that deepen the experience. Traverse grounds once home to indigenous tribes and later James Walker's expansive 1880s ranch, with preserved structures whispering tales of frontier life. Geologically, ancient 1.7 billion-year-old granodiorite outcrops and erosional scars from the Laramide orogeny reveal Earth's turbulent past, while the wall staircase tests your mettle amid sculpted cliffs. Ecologically, the preserve teems with life, from black bears and elk and berry-laden shrubs to golden eagles soaring above riparian corridors, fostered by post-2000 wildfire regeneration and conservation efforts that safeguard this 2,880-acre haven. In 2025, with trails in prime condition and parking strategies easing crowds, Walker Ranch invites all levels to connect with Colorado's wild heart. Whether training for summits, exploring extensions like Myers Homestead or El Dorado Canyon, or simply unwinding in open ridges, this loop promises renewal. Pack wisely, respect multi-use etiquette, and tread lightly to preserve its magic for generations. As a Colorado hiking staple, it's more than a path, it's a portal to adventure, history, and natural wonder just minutes from Boulder. Lace up and discover why it endures as a favorite. Enroll with Global Rescue prior to embarking on your next adventure. When a travel emergency arises, traditional travel insurance may not come to your aid, and a medical evacuation can cost up to $300,000. The cost when you have a Global Rescue membership? $0. That's why when the unexpected happens, you want the leader in rescue, evacuation, and medical advisory behind you. You want Global Rescue. Learn more. Popular articles. Guide to the best hiking trails in Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. The DYRT, the 10 best campgrounds in Colorado. Top Adventure Sports Towns 2021, Boulder, Colorado. Epic adventures with the best guides in Colorado. Mills Lake via Glacier Gorge Trail, Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. Black Lake via Glacier Gorge Trail, Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. Lake Hiaha Trail, Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. Sky Pond via Glacier Gorge Trail, Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. Terms of use. As with each guide published on skybelieverland.com, should you choose to this route, do so at your own risk. Prior to setting out, check current local weather, conditions, and land/road closures. While taking a trail, obey all public and private land use restrictions and rules, carry proper safety and navigational equipment, and of course, follow the #LevenoTrace guidelines. The information found herein is simply a planning resource to be used as a point of inspiration in conjunction with your own due diligence. In spite of the fact that this route, associated GPS track, GPX and maps, and all route guidelines were prepared under diligent research by the specified contributor and/or contributors, the accuracy of such in judgment of the author is not guaranteed. Sky Blue Overland LLC, its partners, associates, and contributors are in no way liable for personal injury, damage to personal property, or any other such situation that might happen to individuals following this route.